If you understand the concept that you can use neighboring scale shapes together, then you can start to create long, luscious, and looping licks like this one in the neighborhood of A minor. Hey there kids, and welcome to this week's installment of Weekend Wankshop, here with your good buddy, Uncle Ben. Knowing multiple positions of the same scale is one of the best things that you can learn as a guitar player. That way you're not always stuck just playing in the same old boxes all the time. A lot of the best players in the world are dudes that can see how multiple scale patterns will kind of overlay and hook into each other across the entire neck of the guitar, which gives them a lot of freedom to play all over the place. This week's lick uses the first two positions of the A minor pentatonic scale, and hopefully it'll show you how you can go in and out of those two different scale positions freely at any time that you want to, because they're essentially just the same notes, just in different spots of the neck. But before we get into it, let's hear it again at step dance speed. Don't forget to get the full tab over on my Instagram page at Ben Eller Guitars. Follow me while you're over there too. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you here is the two different scale patterns that we are using. Now again, here's how I want you to think of this. The A minor pentatonic scale is simply the notes A, C, D, E, G. In any configuration, anywhere on the neck, any way you want to. It could be A, C, D, E, G, A, or A, C, D, E, G, A, whatever. Part of this lick takes place in the good old-fashioned 5th fret A minor pentatonic box. It's all 2 note per string. I'll just call out fret numbers here. Starting from the low E, you're going to have 5 and 8. That's your A and C notes. A string here is going to have 5 and 7. That's D and E. D string here is going to be 5 and 7. It's going to be our G and A. G string is 5 and 7, C and D. B string here is 5 and 8, E and G. And the high E string is going to be 5 and 8, which is A and C. So again, all of those notes were either an A, C, D, E, or G. The other scale pattern we're going to use here is the exact same notes, but just arranged across the neck in a little bit different pattern. Again, it's 2 notes per string. Here's how it's going to go here. On the low E string, it's going to start with 8 and 10. That's C and D. Notice I'm using my second finger, not my first finger here. So 8 and 10. On the A string here, we're going to be playing 7 and 10. That's E and G. On the D string here, we're playing 7 and 10. That's A and C. G string is going to be 7 and 9. That's D and E. The B string here is going to be 8 and 10. That's G and A. And the high E string here is going to be 8 and 10. C and D. So it'll look something like this. And again, all of those notes are either an A, a C, a D, an E, or a G. It's the exact same notes as that A minor pentatonic scale. A lot of players would refer to this scale pattern as the C major pentatonic scale. And that is one name for it, But I want you to start thinking more about how this is just these same notes that you played in the minor pentatonic box, just kind of repurposed. And I also want you to start exploring to find other boxes where you could play those same A minor pentatonic notes, and so on. I'm going to reiterate that one more time here, just to make sure it's really clear. Anytime that you can use this, you can also use this, because it's literally the same notes, just in a different order. So if you can clearly visualize those two scale patterns working together, you shouldn't have too much trouble with this lick. The first part here is going to start off in our lower position scale pattern. We're just going to play up 3 strings worth of that scale. So we're going to play 5-8 on the E, 5-7 on the A, 5-7 on the D. What we're going to do after that is we're going to jump up to the higher position of the scale here and play its lowest 3 strings. So we're going to play 8 and 10, 7-10, 7-10. That's what we got so far. After this, play the same concept, but on the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. So what I'm going to do here is, in the lower position pattern, I'm going to play from the A string 5-7, D string 5-7, G string 5-7. Then I'm going to jump up to the higher position and play its 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. So it's going to be 7 and 10 on the A, 7-10 on the D, 7-9 on the G. After this, I'm going to play the same idea, but on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings of the low pattern. So that's going to be 5-7 on the D, 5-7 on G, 5-8 on B, and then play the same stuff, but in the other scale pattern, the higher pattern. So here I'm going to play 7-10 on the D string, 7-9 on the G, 8-10 on the B. Notice how I use fingers 2 and 4 right there. That's to make the next look a little bit easier, because what it's going to do is jump down to the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings of the lower pattern here. So G string 5-7, B string 5-8, high E string 5-8. Then we're going to go to the higher pattern and play G string 7-9, B string 8-10, high E string 8-10. And then lastly, what we're going to do here is to play the 8th fret B sliding into that 10th B string, which is an A note, our root note. After that, I hit a big old triumphant A power chord, open A, 2nd D, 2nd G. And then I pushed the button. Ooh. Okay, so let's break this down here. Low pattern starting on the low E. High pattern starting on low E. Low pattern starting on A. High pattern starting on A. Low pattern starting on D. High pattern starting on D. Low pattern starting on G. High pattern starting on G. And then your resolution sliding into the root note. And for those of you guys who are interested in the Troy Grady cracking the code style pick slanting stuff that this would be best suited for, this is all going to be a downward pick slanting lick starting on a downstroke. Because all these strings are going down, up, and then changing strings, right? So changing strings after an upstroke is kind of the primary power of downward pick slanting. So yeah, this is one of those ones you want to practice. Downward pick slanting starting with a downstroke. Like that. I also recommend playing this exact same lick though with everything inverted. Upwards pick slanting starting with an upstroke. Whenever you play with upward pick slanting, the downstroke is kind of your string changing stroke, like that. So I recommend practicing this with upward pick slanting starting with an upstroke too. I recommend you guys spend some time getting to know both of those scale patterns really well, trying to learn how you can get in and out of them as many ways as possible. Be sure to go and visit the Instagram page for the full tab like I mentioned before, but I'm also going to put up a couple of scale charts, one of the A minor pentatonic scale, one of the C major pentatonic scale, and then another scale that shows how I kind of envision them sort of overlapping each other. So you go guys, a sick lick to add to your rock or blues playing that'll hopefully help you expand your fretboard vocabulary. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And also, if you guys want to, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ben Eller Guitars. Also, be sure to like my new Facebook fan page on facebook.com/Uncle Ben Eller. And if you'd like to book some one-on-one Skype lessons, drop me a line at benellerguitars@gmail.com so we can talk about rates and times, get something booked up. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for another hot lick next time. Cheers.